Days after RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat warned against fresh temple-mosque disputes as not acceptable to resort to extreme hatred, he has taken a different stand. He said, and I quote, "All the oppression and atrocities happening in the world in the name of religion have happened due to misunderstandings about religion." Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh chief Mohan Bhagwat has urged different sects to work and explain their religion to its followers, as misunderstanding of religion leads to atrocities in the world. He said half knowledge is far more dangerous and it is as good as adharm, and more often than not it is half knowledge that causes more damage. The RSS chief was addressing the Mahanubhav Ashram Shatak Purti Samaroh in Maharashtra's Amravati on Sunday.
म्हणून हा धर्म समजवावा लागतो आणि समजवणं फार कठीण गोष्ट आहे. मनुष्य समजत नाही. मी खूप ज्ञानी मनुष्य असेल तर त्याला त म्हटल्यावर ताकभात लगेच लक्षात येतो. फार अज्ञानी माणूस असेल तर सांगणारा ज्ञानी आहे त्याला माहीत असतं म्हणून त्याचं तो लगेच ऐकतो. धर्म हा समजवावा लागतो आणि तो नीट नाही समजला तर त्या धर्माच्या अर्धवट ज्ञानाने अधर्म होतो. जगामध्ये धर्माच्या नावाखाली जितके अत्याचार झाले आहेत ते या चुकीच्या समजुतीमुळे झाले आहेत आणि म्हणून तो धर्म समजवायचं काम करणारे संप्रदाय असावे लागतात. नुसते पंथ असून चालत नाही.
जहाँ भी हमारे वेद पुराण शास्त्र उपनिषद ने बताया, जहाँ भी एविडेंस है, नंदी का मुख्य ज्ञान वापी की तरफ वो छोड़ दीजिए. आप पत्रकार हैं, आप पीछे से जाइए, पूरा स्ट्रक्चर देख लीजिए. देवी देवता के प्रतीक चिन्ह बने हुए, हमारे जो मंदिर होते हैं वही स्ट्रक्चर बने हुए, तब भी आप ये कहो कि ये मस्जिद है तो कैसे हो सकता है?
संबल का काम है. जहाँ सर्वे नहीं करने देते थे वहाँ खुदाई शुरू है और इस खुदाई में पूरा सबूत हिंदू पक्ष की मिल रहा है.
Ratan Sharda, author, leans towards the RSS. With us, Vinod Bansal, spokesperson of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad with us, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, senior fellow IPCS with us. Now there is also an earlier comment of Mohanji Bhagwat which has irked a lot of people, including we heard Mahant Rajudas and also some of the other sons. I just want to quickly play that out also and come back to you.
हे जीवन जर ही हार्मनी जर जगाला पाहिजे असेल तर आपल्या देशात याचं मॉडेल उभं करायचं म्हणजे ही हार्मनी आपल्या देशात असली पाहिजे. मग श्रद्धेचा आदर त्यामुळे राम मंदिर झालं पाहिजे, ते होत आहे. हिंदूंची श्रद्धास्थान हिंदूंना वाटतं, परंतु असं केलं म्हणजे हिंदूमध्ये नेता होता येतं म्हणून किंवा अतिरेकी भूतकाळाच्या ओझ्याच्या परिणामामुळे अतिरेकी तिरस्कार, द्वेष, शत्रुता, संशय याच्या पोटी रोज एक नवीन प्रकरण काढणे हे कसं चालेल? हे नाही चालणार. शेवटी आपलं सोल्युशन काय आहे? जगाला आपल्याला दाखवायचं आहे की आपण सगळे एकत्र नांदू शकतो. आपल्या देशात त्याचा छोटासा प्रयोग झाला पाहिजे. तो प्रयोग करताना आहेत आमच्या या सगळ्यांना सामावून घेणाऱ्या अनेक पंथ संप्रदायांच्या विचारधारा आमच्या इथे आहेत.
Well, there is more that he had said at that time, but Ratan Sharda ji, isn't this a departure? Is this a call for moderation or a departure from the previous RSS ideologues? My first question to you on that, because I remember clearly Raju Bhaiya and others very clearly said that 3 places of Astha is something that we will want. That is Krishna Janmasthan, there is Adi Vishweshwar in Banaras, and Ram Mandir, Ram Janmabhoomi. Now, here he is saying, don't even talk about anything else. Ram Mandir is done. We don't want anything else.
Thanks for inviting me, though I avoided these debates, but I thought I could speak here with peace and some calm.
Ji.
See, first of all, RSS does not claim to be representing the entire Hindu society. That the critics who are saying that who is RSS or Mohan Bhagwat ji taking a stance that they are deciding on the behalf of Hindus, they are not. As the most powerful organization of Hindus working for last 100 years, he expresses the opinion which are not just his opinion. These are the opinions of the top leadership after taking into account so many other factors. Hindu society is in a churn, no doubt. It's simmering with anger and frustration for the last 70 years of not getting justice and being treated as third-class citizen, etc. At the same time, RSS is the one who awakened the society and saw to it that we realize that it's a Hindu nation and we have to see that our tradition and cultures are safe. From that ground, it took many unpopular decisions. It spoke many times which was against the popular mindset. And for that reason, even today, if RSS takes a stance which is not particularly popular with many people, it will take a stance because RSS would take a very large and long-term view of the society. It knows that the society which is on the verge of takeoff as a strong contender of the world order, it has to have a peaceful society. It has to have some sense of balance in what it does. It does not mean that RSS is trying to take away the earlier stance that we want 3 temples and we are talking of looking at justice for our temples which are broken and taken by the invaders. As per the period of this particular time when the entire society is in a churn and a simmering mindset, someone has to take a bold step and say, please calm down, please take a step back and then see what can be done. I would take it as a caution to people who have been very over enthusiastic after finding that Hindu has become very acceptable, who have no responsibility of keeping peace in the society, who have no responsibility towards having a very clear-cut mindset and agenda to take people along. It's very easy to raise people's tempers, very difficult to cool down, and very difficult to control when it comes to
but here is a question, Ratan Shahdaji. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is speaking at the Catholic Bishops' conference in the national capital, and while he's addressing the gathering, he's saying, teaching of Lord Christ to celebrate love, harmony and brotherhood, it is important we all work to make the spirit stronger, but it pains my heart when there are attempts to spread disharmony and violence. India prioritizes both national interest and human interest in its foreign policy. In the past 10 years, India has become the 5th biggest economy because we believed in ourselves. Now, is there something where the RSS and the PM are trying to mirror each other and trying to say, let's try and calm down and cool down the tempers? But the tone adopted, are those who are going to the courts legally, looking at legal recourse, are they digging up every mosque, Abhijit Iyer Mitra? Or are they going back and saying that where temples were buried under and mosques were built over them, and historically, scientifically, legally, fight for what is their right? Now, does the constitution not give us those rights? How are they rabble-rousers? How are they trying to do netagiri, etc.? How do you read this entire aspect of moderation and allowing to try and, is there an effort to try and calm down tempers before anger boils out on the streets, or things, or a repetition of Sambal happens across the across many cities of our country? Is that, who's fear-mongering there then?
So, first of all, Anand, I think we have to distinguish in what Mohan Bhagwat ji said. See, there are people calling for every mosque to be demolished and temples to be built in its stead. There are much more responsible people who have a very set criteria on where temples need to be built, which is that there is ongoing worship in those temples and a tradition of veneration and the sacredness of the site for several hundreds, if not thousands of years. Right? Those are two different things. Now, Mohan Bhagwat ji hasn't distinguished between these two. But understand, every time you go in, Ayodhya was not won without preparation. You have to prepare the legal groundwork, but there is also the social groundwork. There is a mobilization of workers. There is a public mobilization that needs to take place. You can't just run into battle like that without preparing the ground for everything. Ayodhya has taken us almost 40-50 years to get back through legal battles. Kashi and Mathura will maybe take another 10-15 years. These things have to be prepared. Ground has to be laid slowly. You can't just run in, screaming fire in a cinema hall equivalent and then, expect there not to be consequences. We have to be very well prepared. This is exactly what I believe. Now, I know it didn't come across clearly from Mohan Bhagwat ji's speech, but if you listen carefully to what the RSS has said over the years, they are against intemperate, unprecipitate action. They are not against reclaiming temples, but you can't just go around saying everything was a temple and it may have even been a temple. But the point is, if it has lost its veneration, if it has lost, for example, look at the Qutub Minar complex. We know there are 24 Jain temples, but where has the continuing veneration of that site been? You can't. This is about getting back our sacred spaces. It is not about relitigating history. The problem is there is a whole bunch of irresponsible people who claim to be on the right who want to relitigate history and take it back, not because it is a site of current veneration and ongoing sacredness to us, but simply to score a point and relitigate that history.
See, here is my point. Those who believe in the Kalki avatar, are they going to say that okay, let's not try and litigate and get the Harihar temple back in Sambhal? What about the Bhocha? What about the Bhojshala? Is the Bhojshala rabble rousing when the ASI itself suppose? And these are all ASI monitored sites. These are not sites where somebody is going and saying that they want to demolish the existing structure. They are saying, look at what the actual original character of that structure is. It's under ASI. It does not come under the ambit of the Places of Worship Act. They are going to the courts. They are not even doing dharna. They are not even taking bricks and stones and trying to break down structures. But when a Mohan Bhagwat says what he is saying, is it aimed at those elements or is it aimed at somebody else? Vinod Bansalji, with us, we have seen some of the sadhus who are heading towards Kumbh. There are others who are saying, who have not taken kindly to what Mohanji Bhagwat has said. Is it a departure from the RSS's existing position in the past? Or is it just trying to say, calm down, let's do this step by step, slowly, rather than rushing into it, because that's going to cause social disharmony?
No, Anandji, nothing has changed to the position of the RSS or the organization belongs to it actually. Neither the Hindu society can change its position because they have faced the lot in last hundreds of years actually. The thing is that the perspective of the Pujani Sarsang Chalak statement must be understood in a true spirit and meaning. The thing is that the Pujani Sarsang Chalak says what he thinks about. But the we the small people understand in other way means. The thing is that कि देखिए जो पूजनी सरसंघ चालक जी ने कहा
जी,
वो सही हमने सुना कि नहीं सुना और सही हमने समझा कि नहीं समझा, यही तो बात है। आप देखिए कल उन्होंने जो बात कही थी कि भाई धर्म की व्याख्या, धर्म का ज्ञान और उसके बुद्धि में धारण करना और उसका प्रयोग करना, तीनों अलग अलग चीजें हैं। यही बात तो मैं कहता हूँ, देखिए ऐसे ही जो है ना हमारे ग्रंथों में बहुत कुछ है, हमारे पूज्य संत बहुत कुछ कहते हैं, लेकिन क्या हम उसको राइट पर्सपेक्टिव में समझ पाते हैं क्या हम उसको उसी डायरेक्शन में इंप्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं, कर पाते हैं क्या? दैट इज द होल स्टोरी बिहाइंड द सीन एक्चुअली। मैं कहना चाहता हूँ आनंद जी, देखिए पूजनी सरसंघ चालक जी कोई ऐसा तो है नहीं कोई ऐसे ऑफ हैंड बोल देते हैं या मतलब उनको पता नहीं है कि मेरे एक स्टेटमेंट का क्या रिपरकशन होगा। ही बिलोंग्स टू ए सोसाइटी which is the largest one in the world actually. उनका जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वो आज जो है वो विश्व का सबसे बड़ा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जी। और ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो उनके जो अनुषंगिक संगठन है उनका व्याप्त कितना है आप जानते हैं अच्छी तरह से। तो मैं कहता हूँ पूजनी सरसंघ चालक जी की बात को उन्होंने जो बात कही वो कही कि विश्वगुरु भारत के अवसर पर कि जब विश्वगुरु भारत कब बनेगा, कैसे बनेगा, तो वो तब बनेगा जब झगड़े खत्म हो जाएंगे आपस में। लेकिन
ये मंशा हर किसी की होनी चाहिए ना। हारमोनी सिर्फ एक समुदाय एक गुट की तो जिम्मेदारी नहीं हो सकती, उसका ध्येय नहीं हो सकता। इट हैज टू बी अ कलेक्टिव कॉल। सो देन वेयर does it not bear upon the others to say, okay, if there has been an atrocity and if the faith and astha belief of some has been trampled upon, let's correct that so that there is no misgiving and there is no problem in society and we can collectively as a nation move forward. Well, gentlemen, जी, I have to go across to what the PM has said because उन्होंने भी इस पर कुछ बात कही है, टिप्पणी की है, have to cut across to that and then I'll come back if time permits. जी.